The wind had never called anyone's name before until it whispered, "Maxwell." Maxwell froze. He stood barefoot outside his small mud hut, the cold earth pressing against his feet. The village of Ayamo slept quietly behind him, lanterns dim, goats tied, mothers snoring softly. But the wind was awake. It called around his ears again. "Maxwell, come." His chest tightened. Orphans like him weren't supposed to wander at night. People already believed strange things follow children with no parents. But something inside him, something deeper than fear, pulled him forward. And then a distant drumbeat echoed from the forest. Dum. 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 Not loud. Not fast. But alive. Maxwell swallowed hard. Because that drum was calling him. No child entered the forest after dark. That was the first rule of Ayamo. But Maxwell had broken many rules just by surviving alone. The drumbeat grew louder as he stepped past the village boundary. The air changed instantly, colder, heavier, like the forest was breathing. Branches snapped beneath his feet. Shadows stretched unnaturally long. And still. Dum. 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 The sound pulled him deeper until he reached a clearing. At the center, something was buried. Half covered in soil was a drum. Old. Carved. Strange symbols glowing faintly across its surface. Maxwell knelt slowly. The moment his fingers touched it, the wind exploded. Finally, a voice echoed. Maxwell jerked back, heart racing. Who said that? I did, the drum replied. Maxwell stared. Because the drum had just spoken. I am not just a drum, it said. I am a voice of the wind. Maxwell's throat went dry. You chose me, the drum continued. I didn't choose anything. Maxwell snapped, backing away. Then why can you hear me, when no one else can? Silence. Maxwell didn't have an answer. Because deep down, he knew. Strike me, the drum whispered. Maxwell hesitated. Strike me, and call the wind. Slowly, he lifted his trembling hand. And hit the drum. Dum. The ground shook. Wind burst from nowhere, spiraling upward into a towering form. A spirit. Alive. Watching him. Maxwell stumbled back. What have I done? You have awakened us, the spirit said. Us. Maxwell whispered. There are many. Maxwell's chest tightened. And now, others will come. Others, he asked, voice shaking. The wind suddenly stopped. Silence. Then the spirit whispered. Those who want the drum and the power to destroy. That same night. Screams filled Ayamo. Maxwell ran back. Houses were burning. Men shouted. Children cried. And from the darkness, masked warriors emerged. Not ordinary men. Their eyes glowed. They were searching for the drum. The village chief grabbed Maxwell. You found it, didn't you? He whispered urgently. Maxwell froze. How did you? There's no time, the chief snapped. His voice dropped. You must climb the mountain. Maxwell blinked. What mountain? The chief pointed into the distance. The Skywalker is waking. The Skywalker, the chief said, is not a god. Maxwell listened, breath shaking. He is a giant, who commands the skies. And if he wakes angry, the chief paused. He won't save us. Maxwell swallowed hard. He will end us. The drum paused in Maxwell's hands. You must go now, the chief urged. Maxwell looked at the burning village. At the people who never truly accepted him. At the place that was still his home. He clenched his fist. And ran. Toward the mountain. Rain began to fall. Heavy. Cold. Each step up the mountain felt harder than the last. The wind howled louder now. Not guiding him. Testing him. He wasn't alone. Ships moved in the mist. Watching. Waiting. The wind whispered. "They are here." A masked warrior appeared. "You should have stayed hidden," he growled. Maxwell's hands trembled. Then he remembered. The drum. He struck it. Dum. The wind roared. The wind spirit returned. Stronger. Fiercer. It slammed into the attacker, sending him flying into darkness. Maxwell stared at his hands. This power was real. Finally, he reached the top. The air was still. Too still. And then, the ground trembled. A massive shadow rose slowly from the clouds. Two glowing eyes opened. The Skywalker was awake. And it was staring directly at him. The giant has awakened. The village is burning. And Maxwell now holds a power he barely understands.